Welcome to In the Loop's fourth episode. Today we're going to talk about how startups can follow up with corporate partners, corporate clients. My name is Cristina Tamayo. I'm Business Development Manager at Parallel 18, and I run a program called P18 Connect, where we connect our portfolio companies with corporates in Puerto Rico and beyond. If you watched previous episodes of In the Loop, I'm so glad you're back with us. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming and listening to us. Remember to listen to our first episode of In the Loop, where we deep dived into how P18 Connect came to be and its evolution, how it works. It's still available on our YouTube channel, so go over there and listen to it if you haven't already. So as a reminder to everyone, every episode of In the Loop features a P18 startup, alumni, or corporate partner that can talk from their experience working together, solving specific corporate-related experiences, problems, by incorporating innovative solutions. Through these conversations, our mission is to keep our corporate partners in the loop of entrepreneurship and technology so that they can move their company forward. But also we want our startups to learn from our other startups and corporates how to better and more effectively interact with each other. So going right into today's episode, today's topic, one of the most important things in any new relationship with a customer is follow-up. What to do after that first meeting? How many times should I follow up? Do I follow up with an email, a call, both? How should I space that follow-up? How many emails do I send? This is something that I've seen throughout every single Parallel 18 cohort. And the truth is, it always depends on the type of startup and the urgency of that corporate partner has to make certain decisions. So definitely something very interesting to discuss. I know this is an issue more related or more present with B2B companies. When you deal with B2C, when you're more direct to consumer, you have your marketing strategies and your other strategies. So this is more directed to our B2B startups. So how can a B2B company strategize their initial meeting and follow-up strategy with a prospect? Here to talk to us about his experience on this subject is Edwin Pardo, Chief Product Officer of our P18 alumnus, Datawifi. Welcome, Edwin. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Hi, Cristina. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So before we start, why don't you go ahead and tell our audience about Datawifi, about you? What do you guys do and who are your customers?
Okay, as you say, Cristina, I am co-founder and Chief Product Developer Officer in Datawifi. We are working the last few years as a first-party data platform. Datawifi is a first-party data platform. We are helping companies to acquire and qualify sales leads using Wi-Fi networks. We work with different verticals like retail, banking, government, hospitality, smart cities. We are helping all of these industries to collect data directly from the source. So that's what we do.
Thank you, Edwin. Yes, Datawifi was part of our 6th generation, I think. Yes. I lose count. And we're really proud of your trajectory. I know we have invested in you, so we definitely believe in your mission and we think you're a great company. So thank you again for coming and talking to us today about something that I know, because we've talked about it many times, you personally dealt with in Datawifi. So let's just go right into it. Datawifi is a B2B startup through and through. Yes. So I know that your clients are other corporates and that you've dealt specifically with the really big corporate in the retail space, but also governments, banks and companies like that. So tell us how you plan or you strategize your approach before going into a meeting with one of these leads. What sort of research do you do, if any tips, any special structured way you approach these types of clients?
Okay, that's a very, very good question, Cristina. I think that closing deals in the B2B industry could be called an art. Why? Because let's think in an industry. I don't know in San Juan or in Puerto Rico how many banks are in Puerto Rico.
They're probably like right now we've been diminishing that number, so maybe like 5.
5, okay. So I think in Colombia, for example, we have between 15 and 20 banks. That means that possibilities are very limited, right? And you must do a very good research before approach that customer, because you have, for example, in Puerto Rico, only 5 banks. So you must think how you must talk to this industry. That means each industry, the banking industry, the retail industry, there are different attributes and values that represent that industry. For example, in the banking is always thinking in security, stability, SLAs, and the retail industry are thinking in how you can help them to knowledge the customer, integrations. There are different needs for different industries. So before you spend a bullet, because you have just 5 bullets for Puerto Rico, for example, you think how you must talk to an specific industry. And when I mean with this, you are talking with a person, right? I don't know, maybe the chief marketing officer or someone in the innovation department. So you must think that you are talking with a whole industry, not with an individual. That I think that is the secret to talk with B2B companies. And before you talk with this industry, not the person, with this industry, you must make a research in that industry. For example, in banking, we search in Boston Consulting Group. They have a lot of papers where you can find values that the banking industry needs. In retail, for example, there is a web page that we like too much, is progressivegrocery.com. It's an excellent source to understand the retail industry. So you must talk to the company, to all the company, not just to one individual. I think that's the first approach to the B2B.
I think that's a great recommendation. I think a lot of startups going into their first B2B sales, they don't know quite how to approach, like how much is too much research. And I think those websites that you mentioned that give you like a whole, like a general, sense of the industry, what they're looking for, what their most pressing needs, is really important, because that's how you're going to tailor your presentation. If
Yes.
it's something that is a pressing need, you're going to mention that at the beginning of your presentation, because you want to get their attention like that. Versus if it's something that, it's a nice to have. So really going into that industry and reading about what that industry is reading about and about the trends. I think that's a great recommendation for startups that are looking to sell B2B and how to approach a corporate. I think the more you know, the better position you are to have that corporate really pay attention to you. So I think that's great. Thank you, Edwin. Once now talking about once you've done your pitch, right? You get that meeting, you went in, you did your pitch. How do you know if they're interested in your solution? What sort of questions do you hear, or does the prospect ask that make you understand if they're a potential customer? Or what questions can you ask in that meeting that can help you get a sense of their interest?
I think then in the meeting you must always listen to your customer, because you don't have to talk about your product. You can do an introduction, tell something about your product, but then ask to your customer, what do you need to solve right now? Why you need my product, or what issues do you have? And then you can follow with your presentation. And I think the way to know if there is an interest in your product is when your potential customer ask many things about your experience and what other customers are using this technology. And then the best question that I love is, can I try? Can I have a demo? I think that's the key question. And when your potential customer say, okay, let's try it, or how can I try it, is the best way to know if they are interested in your product. I think you must you must think that it's like in your first date. You don't have to talk too much. You let the question come naturally. So you don't have to show everything in the first session. You have to keep the best qualities for the negotiation, no?
Yeah, I think the best follow-up question from a corporate client is, when can we start? If
Yes.
you hear that, that's like the magic question where okay, he's really interested. If he or she is saying, I want to get started with this, it's a really good sign.
Yes.
I think this makes me think of some of our experiences where corporates are kind of silent after the meeting. And I know that you said that questions are good and you hope for questions, but sometimes people are shy or they're distracted. Is there any like little strategy that you have to kind of get them involved in the pitch if you see that they're kind of silent after your pitch?
It's a hard moment. It's a very hard moment. I try to use the humor in my presentations, in my keynotes. I don't know if you remember our pitch in P18 demo day. I use a meme from Siemens. I see ads everywhere. So I think the humor can help you to break the ice. So you must use this kind of things to try to understand why your keynote or your pitch is boring. So try to use different techniques to break the ice.
Yeah, I think where you're getting around to is making people comfortable and making people feel like they can ask questions even if they don't really fully understand the solution, or it's not really in their day-to-day using a solution like yours. Maybe making them feel comfortable enough so that they can approach it, and then they can see who they can direct you to
Yes.
it within the company. So I think
Another,
that's mhm.
I think another tip, another tactic is personalization. You must look the web page. And maybe, for example, when I was in Puerto Rico, we went to the First Bank. First Bank
Mhm.
was one of the corporates and that we
I
presented the
remember.
Datawifi. Yeah, you
Mhm.
must look for the First Bank webpage, take some pictures, include that picture in your keynote, include some quotes from how they talk to their customers. I think the personalization is a very good tactic, because when the potential customers see his logo in your presentation, so I think
Yeah.
that's a very good tactic.
Yeah, I think that makes me think of a very, very good mentor that we have here at Parallel 18. And I love his mentor session. I've seen it a couple of times. And he says that when you're reaching out through email, you should always put that person's name or the company's name in the subject, because people like to see their name and their
Yeah.
company's name written down. So I think this is the same line. If they see their logo, if they see the potential it has in real life, like it definitely resonates with them and it gets their attention. So I think I love that tip as well. And it's something that you can do with your presentation, but also in follow-up email, just, name drop name dropping a little bit so that it gets their attention and they want to respond. So
Uh-huh.
now I know we don't have a lot of time, so I want to go now into like the next step. So you're done with that meeting. They said they're interested. So what do you do after that meeting is over? What are those next steps? Do you add your contact to a CRM and put it into like an automated workflow, or do you go like a more personal approach?
we remember the 5 banks in Puerto Rico, so there are just 5. So we prefer personalized follow-ups.
Okay.
Because there are just 5 VIP clients, so potential customers. So the first thing is we have to be patient. We need patience because to close a deal with the B2B business take more time than the B2C customers, right? So we prefer personalized follow-ups. We are trying in the few days something with active campaign automation system in other industries like hospitality, because there are more than 5 hotels in a city. But with the specific industries, we prefer personalized follow-ups.
So I wanna kind of go into both scenarios. So when it's a small, what you're saying is when it's a small industry, or like a handful of companies that you're approaching in that industry, then you would go into a more personal approach. And I want to go into detail about that. And then after that, we can talk about, like, if it's a bigger industry, like how would you, because a big part of being a startup is being scalable and being able to grow fast. So I want to go into both. So what's your personalized approach? What do you do in that personalized approach? Is there some tips or tricks into that personalized approach that can make it a little more scalable and not so manual or less scalable?
Okay, when we talk to the personal follow-on is when the customer said, okay, I want to try your platform, I want to see a demo. We try to help them step by step. Don't say, okay, there is the platform, there is.
Oh,
sorry.
never mind. Okay.
Let me turn out this. Okay, we try to help them step by step, how to use our platform, how you can collect first-party data using Datawifi. So that's the way we help, or these big companies, or these, when I say big companies in a small market, I say, okay, there are 3 or 5 banks in a city, but these 5 banks, there are many branch offices. So it's a big deal for us. So we have tried to help them step by step, and we know that this code zone is not escalatable, scalable process, but we know this could be scalable because we have projects in 9 countries in Latam, because we train or IT departments, and we train our commercial team also to help these B2B companies and how to work with the B2B companies. So
so what you're saying is that once you're done with that meeting, you will try with each of those companies that will give you a big ticket. If you close that deal, it will imply a big contract. What you do is that you try to, in that next email, I guess, you send them a how to, or like maybe a demo of how it would work or how the platform would work, so that they can visualize it, and then that will bring you into the next meeting. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's the way.
Perfect. So and if you had a more automated way, or if you have like like, as you said, like the hospitality industry, if it's a more automated approach to following up, how would that go? What's your strategy with that type of automated approach?
We don't have any automated approach right now. We are creating this automated approach with one of the key account managers in Colombia and Peru. That is Alejandro Duarte. He's building with his team this automated process. So we will try it, and I hope to tell you how it works. soon.
Okay, that's super interesting. Actually, that's super interesting because I think you guys have grown so much, and it's super interesting for our audience to know that it's really it has not been automated, but it's been really targeted and those personalized approaches that have worked for you. So I think that's super interesting. We actually, I have a couple of questions that I want to ask you, but we actually have a question from the audience that I want to go into. It says timing in regards to a corporate partner's annual budget is often a determining factor in the length of B2B sales cycle. What is the best way to broach this topic with your sales prospect? So if they have a specific budget for marketing, but it's only, there's only a window in that year where they're going to talk about how they use this budget, how do you broach that topic with your sales prospect?
Okay, again, we must be patient because we know this B2B have some specific budget in the specific times of the year. So you have to make follow-ups, follow-ons, I don't know, maybe monthly, to tell the potential customer how your service can help them to, I don't know, work with a specific KPI. Maybe they open the budget again. So you must be patient. We know this kind of project takes a lot of time. For example, we work with a bank in Colombia. We must wait almost 2 years to close the deal. Imagine this thing, 2 years with a meeting every month. And when they tell us, okay, we don't have budget for this year. Okay, we must wait to the next year. But we know that the ticket with this bank will be big. So I think you must be is patience. We must wait because there are long-term deals. So I think that's the way to approach this kind of things.
Maybe my follow-up question to that is, if they say, there's nothing we can do, the budget won't open until next year, what would be your strategy to still be relevant at the time, a year from now or 6 months from now when the budget is actually become available again?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that happened the last year with this pandemic. So with a lot of customers, so we know that that's the way how the B2B industry works. So again, be patient, make follow-ons, don't throw this to the garbage, these opportunities. You write in your CRM, okay, next follow-on in 3 months. And again, you call this potential customer, okay, we are launching this new features for your industry. For example, for banking, we have a new security certification. Keep your customers updated with newsletters. Maybe they can connect again with you, or maybe in their networking that can recommend your service to another company. Maybe we have some projects when they say, okay, we can do it, we cannot do it right now, but someone in the competitors need something like you're offering. So I think you must have patience. I don't know. That's the way.
Yeah, no, but that's a great little strategy where you show your potential with a partner that then can, when that budget becomes available, can later say to that company, hey, I've been working with them these past few months and it's been going great. So actually, I think that's a great strategy. And what you're saying basically is don't let them forget about you in those months, because you want them to be thinking about you when they're thinking about opening up this budget. You want to be top of mind for them. So so definitely don't stay silent, keep following up. So I know we only have 5 minutes left. I can't believe it. I mean, this has been such a great conversation. I want to ask one question that I'm sure is on every startup's mind, and there's a really probably diverse answer for this, anyone that you ask, but how many emails are too many follow-up emails or calls, or how much follow-up is too follow-up? Do you have a number, or do you have a sense that you can tell us, how to approach this follow-up game?
I think no. The short answer is no. There is no a formula. There is no a silver bullet for this. I think the most important thing is to take steps that allow you to move forward, to close the deal. In some cases, due to circumstances such as this pandemic, many projects stop, but these projects not always disappear. So you have to make the necessary follow-ups to keep the opportunity updated. That means that try to in Latin America, we use WhatsApp for everything, right? I have to work with some companies in Mexico. They use WhatsApp for everything. So try to create this relationship with your customer using WhatsApp. So say, okay, I share with my friends in Mexico something news about Colombia, because I don't know why the Mexicans love Colombia like Colombia love Mexico. So try to keep the conversation informally and try to make official follow-ons by email, like I told you before with the newsletters. But there is no a formula to say, okay, try to send 10 or 5 emails. I think each specific customer has their own communication way.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is really know your customer, where they're from, and how do they prefer communicating with you. So as you said, WhatsApp could be a really good channel for certain places, but maybe not for the US. I don't know.
Yes.
But if there's that channel that can help you informally be top of mind for that company, then utilize it well. And also, I think because of the pandemic, right, empathy is a big factor. Knowing where that company is, and probably have a little more patience and a little more empathy towards what's going on, and how busy people are, and how much they can actually respond to your emails. Like having that sense and letting them know that can be, I think, really, really good in the future for when they're actually considering you for the project. So we have actually 2 minutes left. I want to, first of all, Edwin, thank you so much. I think this has been, again, a really great conversation. I want to kind of, I jotted down some of your tips. I want to remind everyone of those tips now before time is up. But do your research, basically. Do your research beforehand. As if you know about who you're meeting with, as much as you can know about them, that's a great tip. Thank you, Edwin. Listen to your customer also. That's a great tip. I know we hear it a lot, but when you're in that meeting, try to not think about what you're going to say, but really listen, and then think about what you're going to say. When they ask you questions are good. That means they're interested. If they ask you a million questions, that means they're really interested. If they ask you questions about your competition, that's really good, because they're actually considering, your project for this. So that's really good. Humor and making people feel comfortable, again, with the empathy. I think that comes into play. Really try to be human about this, and about your approach. We know people are busy, even when you're in that meeting, but also in follow-up. Try to make people comfortable and make people see that you understand that they're busy, but that you want them to consider you for business, because that's what you need. You need to sell. Personalized follow-up has really worked well for Datawifi. I can tell you from experience that they're doing really well. So consider the most scalable aspect of that. But of course, personalized can really work. And in terms of follow-up, there's no formula. Just follow up as many times as you think it will help for you to close that deal, again, with all the other factors: empathy, humor, making people comfortable. So I think that kind of covers it. I don't know, Edwin, if you have anything else to add.
I think it was the best summary for this meeting.
Thank you so much. So again, if anyone is interested in to learn more about Parallel 18, about P18 Connect, please don't hesitate to reach out. We actually have an open call for applications for our Gen 9. It's actually open right now until May 10th. You can go up to our website and apply, and we would love to have more startups apply. And for corporates, again, my email is Christina@parallel18.com. If you want to learn more about how to connect with Edwin, with startups like Datawifi, please don't hesitate to reach out. It was a pleasure having you here and talking to you all today. Have a good day.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, the Parallel team. And I hope to see you again soon.
Me too.